1980 Mercedes-Benz 280E has got an interesting history, as it has been sitting in a field for an unknown amount of years after it was bought from an auto auction, and I ended up with it because I found it on OfferUp for $1,200 on a dolly in the middle of a street. Once I went and checked the car out, the person had intentions of restoring it and bought it as a non-runner, and bought a fuel pump for it, had some extra parts laying around for it, wanted to restore it, but one of the tires blew out, and he didn't really care to go and get a new tire and fix it, so he just kind of wanted it gone. And so I snagged it up for $1,200 with a dolly, and then just went and threw a tire on and got it home. We immediately went ahead and took the interior apart to give it a really good deep clean, because the seats were definitely a little nasty, and so were the carpets and the headliner and the steering wheel and the dash and all of the above. To make things even worse, when we were looking through the car, we found a whole lot of cutouts, old strip club coupons for VIP access, as well as some anal numbing wipes. So yeah, we went ahead and scrubbed the hell out of these seats and everything, because yeah, we don't want to know what went down in this thing. Overall though, the interior was in really good shape. There wasn't any major cuts or rips in any of the seats. The only thing that was majorly wrong was the dash, which had a bunch of cracks in it, but otherwise the thing was almost brand new by the time we cleaned and scrubbed it. And also, the more we kept looking at things, it definitely seemed like someone really did care about this car, because we did end up finding a full-fledged sound system with what looks like would have had a 4-channel amplifier and some subs, and it had an equalizer, and there was also a can of wax and buffing stuff in the trunk that was pretty old as well. So, I mean, back in the day, someone really was a little bit of a hot boy in this thing. And, I mean, they put the wheels that are on it, which are Western wheels, and they're pretty expensive online, selling for around like $1,500. So, overall, I mean, there was definitely love put into this car. And the love definitely continued with change of ownership, because the person that I bought it from had bought a fuel pump for it and really did want to restore it, and so I'm out here kind of finishing the job. I made a custom fuel pump setup, so I definitely wasn't too sure about all the old bits and pieces there, because they had a lot of deterioration and a little bit of rust. So I just made a simple setup with a Mustang fuel filter, a bunch of adapters, and all new hoses, and it worked out really well for at least my application, and to this day I've been driving around for a little bit and haven't had any issues with it. As you probably heard, it was making some funky noises, and it was all coming from the water pump. So I went ahead and got a brand new water pump, and thought the radiator was going to be good, so I cleaned it out. Little did I know that it was not good, and was definitely leaking from a couple places, and was just corroded through. But we went ahead and changed the water pump out, which was pretty crusty, to say the least. Didn't realize that you had to take the dampener out, but it wasn't too big of a deal. The thermostat was also very crusty, so that came out, and then just gave the whole thing a pretty good clean, and pressure washed into all the ports and tried to get as much gunk out of there, and it definitely worked out, because my floor was pretty disgusting by the time we were done. Plopped that new thermostat in, as well as the new water pump. And then also we ended up doing a slight little upgrade and giving it a better trans cooler, and it also gave us the ability to flush out the trans lines a little bit. And we definitely want to do an electric fan conversion, and my E46 Beamer truck had one, and it has a head gasket right now, so we ended up wiring it to the ignition fuse, and then it actually works pretty well. considering I didn't put that fan in, someone did a long time ago, and it still works really good, especially with the new radiator and the new thermostat and the new water pump, and after flushing out all the fluids, as you would hope. This car overall was very easy to work on, and I mean, I came from working on BMWs primarily, so a lot of things are similar, different, but overall wasn't too bad. And this car worked. We put it into drive and reverse, and it did everything we needed it to. But then we did have to end up ripping out a ridiculous amount of wiring. Oh, and it also had a probably first generation Clifford alarm system in there. And here's all the old Hot Boy Kenwood speakers. We threw in some new ones with the old box that they had made, and then went ahead and started cleaning the engine bay as well, just to give it a quick clean so it looked well taken care of, or well maintained as well. Nothing crazy, didn't want to make it shine, more of just bringing the thing back to life instead of making it look brand new. Cleaning up the paint was definitely the most satisfying part, but we ended up doing it at night, and then my camera died, and so I didn't get a lot of footage, but I went and did get some footage of me cleaning up these Western wheels a little bit. They were definitely oxidized, just gave them a quick sand down with 1000 grit and then hit them with some polish. And yeah, the lips definitely turned out super good and shiny. And then we just put it back together, and yeah, she was pretty much like brand new. So here's the final result for you.